Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a fun video I have never did before on my channel. I did half of my face only high-end products, and the other half of my face I did with only drugstore. Can you tell which side is the drugstore and which side is the high-end? If I personally didn't know I had totally different products on each side of my face, I wouldn't know that I didn't use the same exact products everywhere. My eyeshadow is two totally different palettes with way totally different price points. Can you tell the difference? Honestly, I cannot. And my skin has two totally different foundations. My lips down the middle, this is one color and this is another, including a different lip liner here and over here. Also, two different mascaras. Which side do you like better? Two different highlighters. So I am super excited for this video. If you haven't already, please go hit that subscribe button. You will get a brand new video from me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And with no further ado, let's get right into this video so we can see which side is which, because I honestly can't tell. Okay, so just to start, we're going to apply my e.l.f. Putty Primer. This is just the original pink one. It's not the matte or the luminous one. And just going to put enough for half my face, and on the other side I am going to apply my Tatcha primer, which is basically the exact same thing, just such a higher price tag, but the exact same amount to keep everything fair. Just going to go ahead and apply that and rub this in the skin. Now this does fill in pores, but not like my Dr. Brandt Pores No More or even my Haley's Refined Face Primer. But it does fill in pores, just not like my other ones. And as I'm rubbing this in, I just want to mention that the Tatcha side does have a scent while the e.l.f. side did not. Just wanted to quickly mention that also the e.l.f. side feels a lot more silkier than the Tatcha side. So now we're just going to go in with L'Oreal on one side and NARS on the other, but I'm going to give the L'Oreal a good shake. That is one pump right there, and as you can see, that's the shade 405. That's the normal shade that I use. I know these two shades are not going to be exact, so I hope they don't look crazy on the face, but they do give almost the same effect. And I do have the exact same sponge, just one is newer than the other to keep it totally fair. So just gonna take a sponge and pounce the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear into the skin. I use this foundation a lot in the summertime just because it is a beautiful foundation. It does not emphasize my texture. It hides pores. It lasts all day. It stays on. It doesn't wear off funny or anything like that. It's just a really good drugstore foundation. So absolutely love this. I did use it more in the summertime, and as you can see, I'm just going to add a tiny bit right there just to cover my hyperpigmentation, which I already know this does a good job of. So just going to tap that in and really try to keep that just on the cheek area and then blend it in. I'm not trying to add any extra coverage anywhere else. It would just be excess product that I don't need on my face. So now going in with the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation, which I also love. That is one pump, and just by pumping these two out on my hand and then applying them to the face at the same time, I am noticing that the NARS is just a little tiny bit more cool toned. I honestly don't think you're going to be able to see that on the face. I'm going to take that exact same sponge, but just a newer one, so it's not even two different sponges. These are the same sponges, just one is older and one is brand new. This one here on the NARS side is the brand new sponge, so it's not as soft as the older one just because it's not broken. But as you can see, this also gives beautiful coverage, flawless on the skin. It doesn't emphasize texture or pores, but I am going to smear just a little bit more, just like I did on the other side on my hyperpigmentation right there, and just pounce that into the skin. So it really just goes to show you that high-end foundation or high-end products are good, but I really love Drugstore. I mean, honestly, you can't tell the difference. One side is L'Oreal, the other is the Makeup Forever. I do love both of these products, even though they are not my holy grail. They do a beautiful job of highlighting the face. I really don't have dark blue circles under my eyes. I really do use concealer just for the brightness. But just using that same sponge that we applied the L'Oreal foundation with, just keeping everything fair. I'm going to use one side for one sponge and one for the other. And as you can see, it's very creamy. It covered up everything that I needed it to, and it also brightened the face. Now this Makeup Forever one is a bit more creamy. Almost a little bit too creamy for my liking. I notice if you use too much, it kind of slides around, which is not my favorite, but it does a really good job at brightening the skin. It is just really expensive. And as you can see, both of the concealers that we use have the exact same doe foot. It's like a huge doe foot applicator. You just cannot use a lot of the Makeup Forever one because it's almost too creamy. So you can see from this side to this side, they both did a really good job at brightening. So on to the setting powders. We're going to use the Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade Fair, and just going to tap this under the eye where we put the concealer, and then I'm just going to use that same brush and lightly dust that powder all over the right side of my face. And going in with my Lancome setting powder, I'm just going to switch over the brush just to keep everything totally separate and fair. Just going to set my left side where we did the concealer and then dust a tiny bit on the rest of my face just to set everything down. And that is a Real Techniques brush that I did get off Walmart.com, and I absolutely love for setting powder. It's super soft and it was like $5. Now we're going to move on to bronzer, my Milani versus the NARS. I am going to go in with my Milani Silk Matte bronzer, which is my absolute holy grail. I use this almost every time I put makeup on. I absolutely love it. It's affordable. It also has a really light coconut smell, which I appreciate because it's not strong, but it's a nice smell. So just going to put that on the hollows of my cheeks and around the perimeter of my face, my forehead, my jawline, etc. Everywhere you would put bronzer. And then moving in with my NARS Laguna and a different brush. Just wanted to keep everything separate, and then go ahead and do the same thing. Put that in the hollows of my cheeks, my forehead, down on my jawline, just anywhere you would put bronzer. And both of these bronzers are nice. They go on very nice. They're not patchy. They both feel silky. Just a really different price point. So moving on to blush, I do have Lorac and the Colourpop, and as you can see, pretty similar. Once you apply it to the skin, you really cannot tell a difference. The Colourpop that I am putting on now does have gold flecks in it, which is stunning on the cheeks. It is so finely milled and beautiful, and I am going to go in with a different brush and apply the Lorac. And also the Lorac has flecks in it, but I think they're more silvery, but really on the skin just gave a nice glow. You couldn't tell if it was gold or silver. So moving on to highlight, I have this highlighter from Dollar Tree and then my Ofra highlighter. Yes, Dollar Tree. I paid $1 for this, guys, and it is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to really show what a good $1 highlighter this is. Like, you do not have to spend so much money on products, and I'm going for that color right there in the Ofra pan. When I swatched it on my skin, it was identical. You could not tell a difference. So from $35 to $1 is a huge difference, and like I said, the highlighter is just bomb. So gonna go in with a different brush and my Ofra highlighter. Just gonna dip that in there and then start highlighting my cheekbones. Once again, both of these highlighters are beautiful. They both feel silky. Even the one from Dollar Tree does not feel powdery or chalky or anything like that. Both sides look beautiful and you can't tell the difference. So moving on to eyeshadows, I have the Aromas palette and the Lorac Pro 2. And yes, these are two totally different palettes, but you're going to see what the end result is. You cannot tell the difference. So going in with that peach color from the Aromas palette, I did get this off Amazon. It is $8 and some change. Super affordable, drugstore. Just going to take that on a fluffy brush and put that in the crease of my eye. Now going to go in with the Lorac palette and that peachy shade right there, and a totally different brush just to keep everything fair. And just quickly buff that into the crease just like I did the other eye. These are both Morphe brushes, they're just different brushes. Then going to go in with that brown shade on the end, and that is the Aromas palette. And just focus that more on the outer portion of my eye and then slowly drag it in. I like to build up shadow, not just throw it on. So gonna go in with the Lorac and take their light brown shade with that same brush that we used. And just, again, focus it on the outer portion and then bring it into the eye. Both eyeshadows feel buttery soft to the touch. They blend very well. There's no harsh pulling or tugging or anything like that. They're not exactly the same brown color. The one in the Lorac Pro 2 palette is just a tad bit warmer, but on my eyes you cannot tell the difference at all. So just going to drag that underneath the lash line. Gonna go back in with the Aromas palette with that sparkly gold shade and use my fingers, of course, because I use my fingers for any glitter, shimmer, sparkles, anything like that. You can use a brush and just spray it with some setting spray or some MAC Fix Plus, but personally I just prefer to use my finger. It is my favorite tool. Gonna go in with my Lorac Pro 2 palette, also use my other ring finger. And with that, it's called beige, but it is like a gold shimmery shade, just like in the Aromas palette. Actually like the Aromas one a little bit better. It's got a little bit more of the reflect soft sparkle, but on the eyes you really can't tell the difference. So I'm going to go back in with my Aromas palette and that lightest matte shade and just going to highlight my brow bone. It is just like a creamy white shade. And now I'm going to go in with mascara. I'm going to use L'Oreal on one side and Thrive Cosmetics on the other. So just very quickly going to apply 2 coats of each. This is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which I absolutely love. This does give length, it gives volume, it gives drama, it separates your lashes, it just makes them look super long, super voluminous, so absolutely love that. Gonna go in with my other eye now with the Thrive Cosmetics, which is my holy grail, absolutely love. This one is lengthening, volumizing, all of that good stuff, but this one just clumps your lashes a tiny bit more, but in a good way. So just going to go in with that L'Oreal mascara on the bottom lashes and then going to go in with my Thrive Cosmetics on the bottom lashes. Honestly, can't tell the difference. Now I'm going to go in with 2 different lip liners. That is the lip liner from NYX in the shade Sandstorm. Just going to overline my lips just a little bit. I always overline my lips, but just a tiny bit. I don't go overboard. And then on the other side, I'm going to use my Kylie Cosmetics. And this is in the shade Bear. I don't know if you can see that right there, but it says Kylie. And the color is almost the same. I honestly can't tell the difference. The Kylie Cosmetics lip liner is a little bit more creamier, so I'm not sure if it's going to have the longevity of the NYX. Because I know the NYX one literally on me lasts all day through eating and drinking. So Makeup Revolution and KVD, these look totally different in the tube, you guys. But when I put this on my lips, you're going to see there is really not a huge difference. You would not be able to tell unless you knew I was wearing 2 different lip products. The only thing is the Makeup Revolution one is a little bit more glossy than the KVD one, but the color you can see looks a little bit more orangey in the tube. But you guys, magic is about to happen, and there is really no difference except for it's a little bit more matte. So other than that, you honestly can't tell. And you're going to see here when I'm done, the colors side by side. Like, just look, can you honestly tell the difference? Other than the Makeup Revolution might be a little bit more shiny, I honestly can't. So big difference in price there for the exact same look. Going to move on to setting sprays now. Milani on one side, Smashbox on the other. I do love both of these. I do use both of these, but I do grab for the Milani more just because it's drugstore, it's affordable. This does make my makeup last all day. The only difference I honestly can tell between the two is that the Milani has a fresh scent like a spa, and the Smashbox literally has no scent whatsoever. I don't smell a thing. So they both have nice sprayers. The Smashbox is a little bit more fine, like a mist, but either way, I love both. They do the same exact thing to me. The only difference really is the price point. The Smashbox is $32 and the Milani is $10. So just going to take a sponge and make sure everything is flawless like I always do. Pat it down, and that is the finished look, you guys. I don't know if you can honestly tell unless you knew that I have totally different makeup on, totally different products, 2 different foundations on, 2 totally different eyeshadow palettes on, 2 different mascaras, 2 different lip products, everything. I honestly can't tell the difference. So there you have it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it helped out. Okay guys, so this is the finished makeup look as you saw that I did. If you didn't know that I used NARS on this side and L'Oreal on the other, could you honestly walk up to me and tell I had 2 different complexion products on my face? Because looking in the mirror, not even the shade, now that it's on my face, now when I pumped it out, the NARS was a little bit more cool tone than the L'Oreal, but on my face you can't tell. And especially the eyeshadow, I mean, this is 2 totally different eyeshadow palettes. This side is the Drugstore, obviously, and this is the Lorac Pro 2 palette. And the mascara, this is the L'Oreal, this is the Thrive Cosmetics. And the one thing that actually blew my mind, guys, is that this highlighter, I have one light over here, so that's why it's more shine over here. But if I move this around, I know that's not like good lighting, but I just want to show the highlighter. This is Dollar Tree. This is $1. Can you see the glow? This is $1 from Dollar Tree, you guys. This side was obviously my Ofra highlighter, which is also beautiful, but if you didn't know that I used totally different products on each side of my face, if I went into the store, I'm pretty sure nobody could tell the difference. So just goes to show you do not have to spend a lot of money, and that's why I'm always on the hunt for new affordable drugstore stuff, even though I do have high-end and I do like some high-end products. Just goes to show that the drugstore side looks just as good, if not even better. I think my skin over here looks a little bit more smooth, and this side over here just looks a teeny bit more textured. It just didn't smooth over my texture. So I'm honestly liking the drugstore side, to be honest. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I love doing it. It was fun for me. It was a first for my channel. And I will see you in my next video, you guys.